and I'm here looking for a fight.
Did you have faith maybe back then that your time would come and that you would be able to explode onto the scene as you had?
If I didn't, it wouldn't have happened. I had to believe in it, I had to feel it, I had to have faith in it for it to happen. It's crazy how things just form, dreams just form into reality.
And I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better, and in times of struggle.
I mean, if you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
All that matters is how you see yourself. If you see yourself as the king, you know what I mean? You see yourself with all the belts and all everything. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's gonna happen. Who can tell you otherwise?
I already feel like that belt is mine. So eventually, one by one, I will get every single one of them until there is no one left.
I saw myself in that light. I saw myself as the number one, and I saw myself as the champion. Even before anyone else did. I just kept that in my head.
There's video of him.
Of who?
Connor pretending to be Aldo, and then him showing what he's gonna do in counter. He does the exact move in the green room, knowing, in the dressing room, knowing that that's gonna be the fight. He knew Aldo's movements, he had it timed down, and he's like much more light on the foot, and as Aldo moves forward, he times it perfectly, bam.
He slapped him!
Then make no mistake, I'm setting up to be the greatest of all time. I will go down as the greatest of all time.
He's the UFC lightweight champion.
You keep telling yourself what you know, but what do you believe?
So, do you want to take a leap of faith? Or become an old man, filled with regret, waiting to die alone?
The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be.
Being nervous is important, you know. It's a quote that I love. I see it all the time, you know. There's nothing wrong with having butterflies as long as you can get them to fly in formation.
We live in a field of infinite possibilities. Choose the possibility you want to live in. I will choose a timeline of a life that I want to live.
Strange thing about faith and fear, they both demand you believe something you can't see.
What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am everything I want to be. I don't know, I'm already there. You know? I don't want anything. You know, people say I want this, I want to do this, and I want to do that. But the vibe you're putting out is want. They're always gonna want. You know, I always have the attitude that I have.
I just decided to save myself by dreaming bigger and reaching for some stars. And so I walked into an MMA school with the mindset of being the best in the world.
I'm gonna choose this possibility of my life. And that's a feeling tone of abundance. It's a feeling tone of right action. Ultimately, the feeling is gonna determine the outcome. You live in a field of infinite possibilities, why don't you choose a good one?
I would look up everything about being a person of faith, confidence, even things about charisma, you know? I would just study everything that I wasn't. And I put in hours and hours and hours. And I took lots of notes, and I just watched my world slowly start to change. My demeanor, my confidence level, and the things that I expected for myself, things that I genuinely believed that I could be and I could do, started to happen. Year after year, my world started to become better and better.
Whatever you believe with feeling, and this is the key, with feeling, and the more emotion you put into a belief, becomes your reality. Becomes your reality because you will always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs. As a matter of fact, your entire reality right now is simply a outward picturing of your most intensely held beliefs. If you believe something that is positive or believe something that is negative, or as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can do a thing or if you believe you cannot, you are right. Our beliefs do form our realities. To the degree to which we believe anything to be true, our beliefs act as sort of like a screen. They filter out any information that is inconsistent with our beliefs. We do not see opportunities if we are convinced that there are no opportunities. We do not see possibilities for success if we don't believe that success is possible for us. However, if we begin to change our beliefs, we begin to change our realities.
You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. If you say all men are dogs, you're gonna meet every last one of them. I'll never be rich, you won't. The moment you change the frequency that your tower emits, different things come back to you.
Whenever you think of anything that causes you any concern, just say to yourself, I can do it. I can do that. I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. Those are the magic words that eventually undercut and erode and wash away any fear that may be holding you back. And you repeat those over and over as affirmations, and you program them deep into your subconscious mind, and at a certain point you override all the negativity from your environment.
I see myself as the champ already.
Already? You're the featherweight champion already?
Of course, I see myself as the champ from day one. I visualize everything. I visualize this conversation. I visualize the walkout. I visualize everything going on. I know I have shots picked out that I'm going to throw in this fight in 5 weeks. You know what I mean? I've seen everything in my head, and now it's going to happen. You see it in your head, you're going to see it before your eyes. That's what I say.
Right around the age 19 years old, I just found myself just in a bad spot in life, and I knew that I didn't want to just be an MMA fighter. I knew that I wanted to be the best in the world, but I wasn't the most confident young man.
Connor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything.
You have to believe you'll be alright. The universe will take care of the rest.
Power of the mind is not to be underestimated.
I believe, really believe. The one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
Hey, whoever you think I am, you got the wrong guy.
You were always the wrong guy. Till you weren't.
Because the perception of reality is more real than reality itself.
Forget everyone else. You gotta believe in yourself.
Seeing is believing, and the mission impossible was not impossible.
Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
Must keep going!
To there? It is impossible!
Nothing is impossible! What we all have done is impossible!
Charles, you have finally lost your senses.
This venture is impossible.
For some, gentlemen, the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible.
That kind of thinking could ruin you.
I'm willing to take that chance.
That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible.
What rich people do. They speak into existence what they want. When you speak things, it is dramatically different than if you just think it. Watch your words.
No one attempts the impossible without belief in something greater than themselves.
The rules you live by were written by someone who stopped asking questions. So start rewriting it. The only limit is how deep you're willing to question what you've accepted as truth. They told you life works a certain way, but that's just code, and code can be rewritten. Reality is negotiable.
A city with an ordinary life, but he has a genuinely extraordinary sense of self, a massive self-belief, and a belief that extends his own reality to whatever he wants it to be.
Months, years and years, and when you go to rest, you have this self-belief that you can win.
is impossible.
Wealthy people broadcast what they want, their desires in life, their goals, on the wealth wave, on the billionaire brainwave. If you do that, that's the secret to manifesting. I'm going to show you how to do it. I recorded a show about a year ago. I want you to watch this show, take notes, watch it again and again, share it with everybody, because this is the secret that I have used to bring in billions and billions and billions of dollars and create stuff out of nothing over and over again.
You have to ask yourself before you start your day, what do I want to bring to the world? Who do I want to become? Let me become that person. Let me disconnect from my outer world. Let me close my eyes. Let me play some music, fill the space. Let me not eat anything, smell anything, taste anything. Let me not move around, experience anything, and feel anything. Let me make my inner world more real than my outer world. Let me remind myself of that 95%, the way I think, the way I act, the way I feel. Let me just get so conscious of those thoughts if I can. I'll start tomorrow. It's too late. It's her fault. It's his fault. Get really aware of how I speak, how I act. Let me remind myself of the thoughts I do want to think. Let me remember them so I don't forget them. How am I going to feel today? I want to feel this feeling and keep bringing it up until I can't forget it. If I change the way I think, if I change the way I act, if I change the way I feel, will my life change? The answer should be yes, because if you're choosing to evolve your experience, your life should change.
Heaven and hell are both states of mind. When a person is in a very doubtful and negative state of mind, he's always going to catch hell. But when the individual finds the heaven, the harmony, the God, the good, the love that is resident in his own being, then he begins to experience heaven.
Now, if you don't understand it, doesn't mean you should reject it. You see, whatever is going on in your mind, you are attracting to you.
One, it has been proven now scientifically that an affirmative thought is hundreds of times more powerful than a negative thought.
This is what I believe to be true. This is what I learned in the hospital. You have to do everything you can. You have to work your hardest. And if you do, if you stay positive, you have a shot at a silver lining.
Vibrations will only manifest if you commit.
It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in. If you only remember one thing I'm saying, I want you to burn this into your mind. You can try as hard as you want to change some area in your life. If the paradigm remains in control, you're toast. It just will not work.
When you don't have money, you don't realize. Like, think about right now, if someone grabbed your throat and squeezed it, what would you think about? The only thing in the world is oxygen.
Yeah.
Right? How do I get more air?
Getting free.
But you're not thinking about it right now because it's abundant. It's not on your mind. But what you don't realize is when money is lacking in your life, it focuses all the time. I would do that for my kids, but I can't. I'd love to take that vacation, but I can't. I'd love to do my own thing. I'm sick of this unfulfilled job, but I can't. I'd love to be at every baseball game. I can't. It all boils down to money. I don't care what anybody says. You have the money, you're in control of your decisions, you're in control of your calendar.
Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, you change your conditions by changing your self-image. If you see yourself as a person who is in a vale of tears and under conditions and circumstances, that's the way you will be until you change your mind. Also, one of the techniques that I teach is called visualization. It teaches the person to see himself being, doing, and having the good which he desires. And the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. And it simply means that if you cannot see yourself in a better condition, you will die in the terrible condition that you're in.
So I didn't realize I spent so much of my life with the throat being choked, but it was money, and I watched that's how my parents lived. I can't go to the baseball game. I can't put the window in the back of the car. We gotta get evicted from this trailer because we don't have what? We don't have money. Right? I'd love to say that we live in this perfect world that you don't need money to have choices in your life, but in most cases you don't.
Questions are the answer. You want a better answer, you need to ask a better question. So when you ask for something, whether that's for a goal, whether that's for permission, whether that's for love, you need to be asking the world for what you want. You make the demand, you make the request, and the universe then conspires to bring the things that you want.
If I'm gonna get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas, I'm gonna get the soft top cars, I'm gonna bring my whole team out, I'm gonna spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks that size, we're eating every single night each. We're eating good, we're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But
most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering why it shows up over and over again. You become what you think about most of the time.
We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself? When you do, people have no choice but to follow suit.
A lot of people, they base it on their past. They base it on the life that they've experienced up until this moment.
I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know if you're in tough pain, going through a divorce, going through a bankruptcy. You feel like you're too old. You feel like you're too young. You feel like you live in the wrong place. You feel like Dean, this is great for everybody else, but you don't understand what I'm going through. I don't know if that's what you believe, but I've been lucky enough to watch people from every walk of life, from everywhere in the world, starting with different backgrounds, starting with the most hellish past, some that break my heart. I can cry thinking about it. And when they got it, they just got it and started attracting money, started attracting relationships. Their first deal happened or their new business started. And a lot of it is this foundational stuff we're talking about right here, right now, today.
The law of attraction is really obedience. When you think of the things that you want and you focus on it with all of your attention, the law of attraction will give you what you want every time.
Every time you are upset or your children are upset because of what somebody else says about them, including their peers, what you are really saying in that moment, and this is really important, what you're saying is, what you think of me is more important than what I think of myself. And you must never give anybody that kind of power and control over you, because they will always have it.
You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now think about that. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it.
When you believe that your miracle is already on its way, when you believe that you are worthy of it, the universe has no choice but to manifest it for you. Right now, as you focus on the greatness you want to experience, the circumstances of your life begin to shift. You might not see it with your physical eyes yet, but trust that the forces at play are working for your good. The power of your inner state creates the outer world you live in. By seeing your miracle already in existence, you are commanding the universe to respond with the exact circumstances needed for its manifestation. You have been prepared for this moment. This is the moment where your belief, your feeling of certainty, will open the door to what you have asked for.
You've got to understand that you've already got it. Use your imagination, see yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. If you want to attract what you actually want, you've got to see yourself now already with it. And know it's only a period of time until you moving toward it and it moving toward you, and you become one with it.
Decide what you want and begin to do positive statements in present tense for what you want. You never want to say, I will have or I'm going to have, because if you do that, it keeps it in the future. And remember, if you say, I have a wonderful new apartment, and you're living in a dump, it doesn't mean that this is not a true statement. It means you are planting the seed that will germinate and grow and become the new apartment. So you just keep doing it. Everything happens in the perfect time-space sequence, and we want to trust that and we want to know that.
The universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving. So then people who show up for themselves every day, they start feeling pretty damn worthy. Like they're like, I'm worthy for this. Not like an entitlement way, like something. They just like, I feel like it's gonna happen. I'm worthy for it.
You're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it. All things are possible if you believe.
And you get it when you believe it. You get it when you believe you have it. And that's the key. It's like people still, they sit around going, when's it going to come? 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 And that's the wrong way. You have to go, it's here, it's here, it's here.
Who is ever in your business, in your life, when you stopped worrying about money, more of it came in? Isn't that the craziest thing in the world? It's like people who have money, more comes to them. Why? I truly believe it's like the success tax. It's like when you stress about it so much, when you worry about it so much, when it's all your focus, it eludes you. So I just want to change this thought in your mind of money being scarce and money is abundant. Instead of hoarding what you have, continue to do what you're already doing and figure out how do you get more of it to come in your direction.
Nobody changes until they change their energy. When you change your energy, you change your life. Don't expect anything in your life to change if your environment is controlling your feelings and thoughts. And if your environment is controlling how you feel and think, what you're really saying is that person is controlling your feelings and your thoughts, and that means you're a victim to your environment. Cool. Turn that around and you start realizing your feelings and thoughts create your environment, and you start seeing the effects of you at cause. You're gonna believe more that you're the creator of your life and less the victim of your life. And I say, the more you practice it, the better you get at it.
I had a dream. You know, like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. Lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine we would be playing, and you know, the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. And I would see myself, you know, getting hot, you know, let's go to 10th Street points. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, you know. So when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over, and then, you know, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day, 1,000. Right, that's on top of weight training and my conditioning. There were shots that you saw in that game. There were specific shots. It was coming out of the corner, going to the pinch post, footwork in the post, coming off the screen. It was very specific. So when you download that into your system and you go out in court and you're just executing things that you've done thousands of times before, and you have that dream, then that becomes possible.
I mean, honestly, like, you know, what I did wasn't rocket science. You know, you know, for me as a kid, I had dreams bigger than anybody else could ever dream, and I wanted to be the greatest. I wanted to be the best, and you know, I think I always wanted to be the first Michael Phelps because I wanted to do things differently than everybody else.
The strongest individuals are not those who never experience negative thoughts, but those who refuse to be controlled by them. Because you know that success is not reserved for the few, it's claimed by those who decide they deserve it.
Unbelievable. All right, it's my least favorite word. I think we should wipe it out of the dictionary. Why? What's so unbelievable about tragedy, about triumph, about people that raise us up or let us down? It happens every single day. We shouldn't think that the most beautiful sunset or the greatest play or the greatest love of our life or the greatest moment of euphoria is unbelievable. Believe it. It's happening right in front of you, in you. We shouldn't feel like the greatest tragedy of death or earthquakes or natural disasters or loss is unbelievable. It's part of life too. Believe it. We see it happen every day. So, unbelievable. I don't buy it. Awesome. Horrible. Incredible. I don't believe those. That's a good way to explain things. But unbelievable? Nah. It just happened.
Till it's over with. Yeah, that shit is disgusting. It's so fucking lame. Woo! Your wife told you were strong. They lied to you, motherfucker. You ain't shit. You the strongest motherfucker in your living room, on your couch, but step outside your door amongst the rest of the motherfuckers, and you ain't shit. Get up with that shit. ass bitch can talk shit. The fuck up and do something. The old bull and the baby bull. This shit is fucking disgustingly light. I can't get excited about shit this motherfucking light. I don't even know. Am I lifting weights, boo? I can't even tell if I'm lifting weights or not. Show them what we do. Show them what we do. 17 years you been a pussy. You tired of being a pussy? I'm tired. By the time you get 18, you don't be no pussy no more, do you? Down high road. Well, get this bitch, goddammit. Show them what we do. Show them what we do. One, two, three, four, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. They gonna talk shit, Bulo. They got the nerve with they thick bifocal glass wearing ass, number 2 pencil, writing down shit ass to talk shit. And they let an old man, bad, broken down old man, kick a square in their motherfucking ass. Old man. Come on, Winston, show them what we do. Show them what we do. Show them what we do. Get your punk ass out there and work for it. I'm CT motherfucking fucking stuff like something. Do something. Your own motherfucking cave. You have to fucking beside your lane. Ease you. Show them what we do. This is a man's
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
Look at all those people down there. They follow the rules for what? They're letting fear lead them.
What happens if they don't?
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump.
Take the biggest risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
Every successful person has jumped. You got to jump. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff, and you got to jump out there as far as you can.
Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to somebody, something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
and imagine the movie begins now, and you're the hero of the movie. What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now? Yeah. Because you are.
At some point, everything's going to go south on you. Everything's going to go south, and you're going to say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin.
But I love this question, which is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I love thinking about that when I'm thinking about big life decisions. Like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And it's usually like the big one, the bigger thing that I really want to do, but I'm afraid to do it. It's like, that's what I should do.
These are the years when a man changes into the man he's going to become the rest of his life. Just be careful who you change into.
You know, if I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it. You know what I'm saying? We're all going to die one day.
Yeah, it's true.
So we live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. Go for it.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living.
People either survive in the jungle or exist in the zoo. Few recognize the significance of the paradoxical reconciliation of the two.
Pain motivates significantly faster and stronger than pleasure does. Like, people are like, no, passion's the right way. It's like, point a gun at a family member, all of a sudden, 10 out of 10 motivation. Pain.
You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie and it started now, forget about whatever financial disasters you've had, personal failures, relationship failures. What would the hero of your life's movie do right now? Do that. Do those things. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's me. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who's learned from those failures, and you can choose to be the hero of your own movie right now.
Well, what I like about it is I'm doing something I don't want to do. Every time I start doing things I don't want to do, I grow.
Yes. That's a lesson that people need to hear and learn. It's so important because everybody just wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to sit on the couch. I don't want to go outside, it's cold. I don't want to do this, it's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss. Your mind is telling your body what to do, and then you have control.
So many of us come from these small places in our mind that we're not willing to think outside of only what we've seen. Our mind works in such a small compartment. And one thing I was able to do was to dream. Many people, but don't make dreams your master. But I was able to dream outside those four walls of that small town. And until you're able to really put yourself into that dream, but don't make dreams your master, that's where you truly become what you're destined to become.
Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like, because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do.
Exactly, bingo.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless, you got to be relentless.
Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like the first thing you want to do is dispense with the idea that you get to have any permanent security outside of your ability to contend and adapt. It's the same issue with children. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah. And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
Everyone thinks you're crazy until it works. So I mean, if you think of the outcome as the trump card, then all of the pain and suffering that you lead up to that point, if you're just, I'm trying to think of an appropriate saying. I was gonna say balls deep certain that no matter what, you will die or you will get there. Then the likelihood that all of the things that you've done up to that point will then be justified in retrospect is super high. And I actually see that as super compelling, as a thing to latch onto in harder times.
You know, some of y'all are motivated by broke. I'm broke, I'm stuck, I'm f***ed up, I can't do nothing. Some of y'all are motivated by just wanting to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. Other folks are motivated by materialistic things. It's a very simple concept. If you want it, you gotta go get it.
Move your body. Get it going. You'll feel better afterwards. I know you don't want to do it. I fucking hardly ever want to do it. I maybe want to actually do it 5 out of 10 times. But
maybe less, yeah.
But I do it. I just do it. I know what it's like to not want to do it. I get it. Shut up. I just start talking to myself. I go, come on, pussy. What are you talking about?
Do it.
If I was you, outside of you, knowing what I know, if I could read my mind, I'd be like, come on. You're just being lazy. Put your fucking shoes on. Yeah. Get a sweat going, and then you're gonna feel pumped. Come on, man. You've done this a million times. And then invariably, I'll be in the middle of the workout, I'm sweating, I'm like, yeah. Woo! Yeah. And then I get into it.
So what I encourage any and everybody to do is just understand who you are. Truly understand who you are. Learn yourself.
Yeah.
Learn yourself. Learn your pros and your cons. Get your flaws. Get them out the way, but with you, not to nobody else. This is a you and you thing. And the shit that you know you need to work on, I'm telling you people, when you really look yourself in the mirror and you start to pick yourself apart by yourself, there's only room for improvement. It's easy to ignore your bullshit.
The problems in your life are your own dang fault. And so the answer to fixing the problems in your life are in your own dang hands. The responsibility for the well-being of your family, your wife, your husband, your children are yours.
Man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.
You know, I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, you know, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. You know, so
what about your biggest disappointment?
Once again, that's the same analogy. You know, disappointment to me, to win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am.
Now, get control of your emotions and carry on with your life. And sometimes you're gonna get hit with those waves, and that's okay. I think that's a big misconception. It sort of relates to what you're saying. Oh, I'm having an emotional moment right now. There's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The other extreme is, oh, I'm letting my emotions run my life and I'm making a bunch of bad decisions. And my excuse is, well, you know, I lost some friends or I had this traumatic experience happen to me. That's why I'm doing, that's just an excuse. And it's a very easy excuse.
If you're gonna do it, do it. Say what you can do what you say.
can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it, find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, if I just would have, That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something and you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. But the limbo of not knowing, if you half-ass something, the limbo of going, I hedged my bet. What could have happened? You don't know.
And my 3 questions are, what do you want? How badly do you want it? And how much are you willing to suffer? And very often, everything revolves around the first question, what do you want? Because a lot of people are unclear what they want from life. They don't sit down and think through. We are writing our own life story every day, and yet we don't think about it. Who do we want to be? Where do we want to live? What life do we want to lead? When we've finished our life, come to the end of our life and look back, what do we want to say that we've done? So, what do you want is a very powerful question. And then, if an athlete says, I want to be the best, Bill, fine. How badly do you want it? Because you've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder, you've got to commit more, you've got to take more responsibility, you've got to deal with more ups and downs.
And say, okay, now I'm looking back on my life. I want to have minimized the number of regrets I have.
Right, trust.
And I knew that when I was 80, I was not going to regret having tried this. I was not going to regret having wanted, trying to participate in this thing called the internet that I thought was going to be a really big deal. I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is not ever having tried. And I knew that that would haunt me every day. And so when I thought about it that way, it was an incredibly easy decision.
So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
The thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. There's always going to be a time to celebrate and a time to join friends or a day that, the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. Achieve your dreams. That's not always open.
How it's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, you're never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right.
If there was a big meta indicator that you're doing the right thing, doing what everyone isn't doing is already probably the single biggest indicator that you're doing the right thing. Like if I could wish nothing else on my child whenever I choose to have them in the future, is that they have high agency, which is that they make decisions independent from the opinions of other people. And when we hear words like authentic and original and things like that, it's because the person starts at square one and says, well, what do I want? And then they start building from there. It's just too hard.
Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is easy. Easy doesn't enter into growing life.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenge.
Peasant out, Pluto. Peasant out, Pluto.